Hello again. Because everybody seems to be talking about Gaza at the moment, and my own views on the subject are probably at variance with those of the majority of people in Britain, I thought I might explain why that is. Like many people from this country, I lived for a while on a kibbutz in the 1970s, so that I could see at first hand a form of communal living which seemed to be outstandingly successful. At that time, 12,000 people a year were arriving in Israel from all over the world to do the same thing. I ended up spending a little over a year on that kibbutz, Bet Zera in Galilee. Some of those foreigners from Europe, America, and so on were Jews, but most were not. People from this country included Boris Johnson, who stayed on a kibbutz in the 1980s, and actors Helen Mirren and Bob Hoskins, who did the same in the 1960s. Having seen Israel at first hand in that way, I never knew one of those people who did not leave Israel as being pro-Zionist, whatever their motives for first going there, which might have just been to take the 70s equivalent of a gap year, perhaps. I certainly came away from Israel as a Zionist. I spent another few years in the country after being on a kibbutz, living in Jerusalem and near Rafah in the Gaza Strip. Because world opinion is generally not favourably disposed towards Israel, and we needn't go into the reasons for that, Israel mounts a programme to put her views out to the world and explain the actions which the nation takes. This is sometimes known as Hasbara, and depending on your point of view, this is either a propaganda campaign or a much needed dose of reality to combat the mischievous lies one sees constantly on the news in Western countries. Some people aid this cause individually and quite voluntarily, without reference to anybody else. Some are like me, YouTubers and bloggers, and in between whatever else we're doing, we try to correct misapprehensions, misrepresentations which appear in the newspapers and on television about Israel. This is not an organised system. I don't know any of those other people doing this, nor to the best of my knowledge is anybody being paid to do so. It's more sinister than this. We do so for deep-seated ideological reasons, because we believe in a cause. I thought it worth speaking about this because people do say things in the comments here from time to time, like how much are Mossad paying you, or suggesting that I'm a gatekeeper or controlled opposition or something. I'm afraid, none of those things. Indeed, I scarcely know what a gatekeeper even is. I'm not Jewish. I'm just one of those who got to know a country very well and gets irritated to see people routinely running it down without any real idea what they're talking about. It's as simple as that, although it would probably be fair to say that in a broad sense, the views I express here are part of Hasbara in a general sense.